got something we could do. You just reminded me.
Nick, do not embarrass me in this agency, okay? This happens all the time. Just, don't embarrass me.
You touched my wrist!
I'm a big star, and important.
Alright, let me see if I can find this. Oh, where did that go? Let's see. Okay. The CNN News Network. CNN, completely not news. The Cuck News Network. The Communist News Network. The network that's clearly not news. The Crappy News Network. The Collective News Network. The Controlled News Network. The Corny News Network. The Complicit News Network. The Conceited News Network. The Chlamydia News Network. The Central Noob Network. It's a bunch of charred nihilist Nephilim. They're the crazy, nasty Nazgul. The Censored News
What's
Network.
Nazgul?
The channel that's constantly not necessary. Nazgul from Lord of the Rings. Those 10 kings that rode the nasty dragon beasts. Those were the Nazgul.
Oh, the ones that were after Gollum?
Yeah, yeah.
Those are some bad motherfuckers. You know what?
CNN is a network of crying, neutered neoliberals, clowning, no-brained ninnies, and crying, nauseating nincompoops. CNN is a group of adult babies bandying campy nonsense non sequiturs and constant NAMBLA nostalgia, or the clearly NAMBLA network, take your pick. But I suppose it's better than the communist North Korea network, hoodwinking the population over there, and sometimes they've got good outro music. So I guess CNN is not all bad. That's my rant on CNN.
Yeah, they really just have a weird, humorless moral indignation about minuscule things in the grand scheme of the argument. They don't make arguments. They appeal to emotions, and they already have the incentive structure set up to, entrust in that, government subsidized reality that's put upon them when government school is put upon them. When they grow up in that system, they're more susceptible to something like that. But you got to overcome it, and at least, some people aren't capable of it, but others, they're just really not doing some critical thinking to come together and lead towards something that's better. But
well, we're living in a time, Pravda, the Russian propaganda network back in the day, that's CNN now. It's the same as the Nazi propaganda. We are living in an era of propaganda and shenanigans.
Openly, documented, coordinating, behind the scenes with debate questions with political candidates.
Right. That's so ridiculous that they did that, and that didn't get more scandal. And then what do the Democrats got to say? Oh yeah, the Russians hacked our elections. They
3 months straight, all 24 hours on CNN.
They showed us. They showed what we actually
up Vladimir Putin's asshole constantly on CNN. And we're just
and all that they said. What did the Russians hack? Well, they revealed our emails.
And
okay.
Hillary's position was war.
Yeah. I want to bomb these Russians.
No fly zone over Syria, and she would consider cyber attacks as an act of war and respond militarily.
And what's crazy is her and Podesta were the ones that
people on the
sold
left, they're supposedly liberal, anti-war. We're like, okay.
They sold the uranium to them to
Donald
begin
Trump's
with.
racist, so okay, just whatever.
Oh yeah.
You can't be that, have that lack of critical thinking in how you approach the situation. It's so crucial to how everybody's existence. If you really care about your fellow man, the answer is not government collectivism. It's
no,
collectively looking at the government and realizing what's not necessary, and
I'll tell you what's not necessary. Most of the government.
Just, you know, we just want voluntary interaction with free market capitalism.
But here's the deal. Here's what they're doing.
That's the only way we're going to avoid a
huge
crisis in the economy because of the Federal Reserve shit. There's this like huge parasitical system that goes along with the government. It's a pseudo-governmental organization, but it's really just private.
Oh, yeah. Well, what they do is they increase a few things. Okay, number one, they're increasing the amount of government workers. The majority, not the majority, but almost more than 50% of jobs right now are government jobs, which means naturally the population is going to follow the government. You don't bite the hand that feeds. If you're not involved with a government job, you're involved in a corporate job. If you're not involved in a corporate job, maybe you work for yourself, but that's a minority of the population. And they keep it that way. Everybody's controllable that way. So the more government jobs you get, the more the government can advance its own agenda. Look at what we got now. Postmen, teachers, transportation drivers, military, politicians, landscaping experts that keep up the town, garbage refuse kind of stuff, policemen, technically firefighters. I love firefighters. I like them more than policemen. There's medical institutions that are privatized through the government. There's so much stuff that's straight. Then you've got intelligence agencies that employ 3 million people.
So big, dude. Like, man, the smallest government in the history of the world, and now it's the biggest.
That's exactly right. And it wants to get bigger because the bigger it gets, the harder it is to get that tumor off of you. And Trump's in reduction. He's the chemo to our cancerous country. And
the wrecking ball.
And what's happening is because there's so much government, that's how they hook in people as well, is because you're going to trust your employers. And so there's that. They get the corporations working in their pocket, like the pharmaceuticals, who get all sorts of financial incentives to play ball. And suddenly, and then you get everybody addicted to drugs. You know, if you just take all that out and just look at things financially, 8 out of 10 people in this country are in debt. 8 out of 10. That means 20% of the country isn't in debt right now. That's 1 in 5. 1 in 5 people doesn't have debt. Everybody else, they've probably got an average of $4,000 to $5,000 minimum. Yeah, that's the average. So maybe it's just $100, but it could be up to $130,000, $350,000. The average is $4,000 to $5,000. So that's what they get you indentured. It's a horrible thing. It really is. And the more left we go, the more that happens, because the government is only relevant if we think it's relevant. You know, it's trying to convince us that we need it like that. I don't think we need what we've got. I think we need a less powerful government. I think there needs to be some stratification of law and order, but so I'm not complete anarchy, but what we've got now is ridiculous. It was better when we had, before the Civil War, when states had more power individually. I think that was a better system. Things went a little haywire, yes, but the whole Civil War, that itself is a whole other can of worms. It wasn't just about the racism, it was also about taxation. I mean, Lincoln told 2 states in the North they could keep their slaves if they sided with the Union. So he wasn't some great emancipator. It was slavery was the WMDs of the day. Okay, it had some relevancy. It wasn't irrelevant, but it was the political fulcrum that was used to move the war machine more than it was the actual reason for the war. It was a political fulcrum. And these days, they're doing it again. They're identity politics. They're trying to use that as their fulcrum, and we see through it. We're not going to let them, I think. I can just go on forever. I don't even have to breathe.
Yeah, but anybody who, like, is, you know, feels like that they could, like, just live with a big government and have it be acceptable. Like, have you been paying attention to the body counts of the 20th century by, like, large collectivist government systems that gain too much power?
They've killed millions, more than anything.
Democide. Mostly by leftists.
Yeah, it is. Well, because what happens is the leftist regime eventually becomes
almost
more,
all, if you include the Nazis, which I do.
Yeah,
socialism is not a manifestation of the right wing.
National socialism is an inversion of socialism.
Yeah, always shorten it to Nazi because they don't want you to go to the national center.
Yeah.
That's good enough, Nazi. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, I don't want to let them draw the comparison. This is a left-leaning enterprise. Because when you get the left people up there, a lot of times they're this beta male, power-hungry, socially and mentally immature individual who got what they wanted through lying, cheating, stealing, backstabbing, etc. Not because they earned it, but because they were willing to cheat hard enough to get it. And they make that a moral ethic. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in practice, so they keep trying to lie, cheat, and steal to hold their position. And that involves a lot of cleaning house, getting rid of people that might be your enemies and might realize this, that, and the other thing. Unfortunately, there is a wisdom in the world to wickedness, but it does end up stabbing you in the back in the end. So basically what these people are doing is they're making a deal with the devil so they don't have to work hard enough to earn things legitimately, and they can have all the benefits. But it's got to be horrible to be these people, because you make it to the top and everything tastes like gravel. You don't even care about the foie gras or the threesome you had with all them beautiful women, because you can have whatever you want now, and you know what you did to get there, and you know you've got enemies, and these thoughts are always on your mind, and you're greedy, and you've got addictions, and you're addicted to the power. You need more and more and more and more. You can't relax, so you steal, you get away with it. It's like gravel in your mouth. You can't even enjoy it.